So today, we're introducing something called the EHSQ Alliance. The EHSQ Alliance is a movement to leverage our collective intelligence to transform global EHSQ performance. This is a strategy which will enable us to really transform how we deliver our professions. So what we want to do is enable collaboration within your organizations, across industries, across continents, to really capture our collective intelligence. And what we want to do here is come up with a strategy to graduate into sharing our collective intelligence, because we believe there's no other way forward in the EHSQ space. We believe it's similar to 5 years ago if somebody told you, hey, I need to get across town, and they said, cool, there's this random person on the road driving around, I never met him before, but let's have them come pick us up and drive us across town in the middle of the night. You would never think of doing that. There's no way. And we think what we're doing here today is a similar concept that will take some time to graduate into. But out there in the ecosystem, there's so much value. There's everybody in this room, EHSQ leaders across industries and across continents. There's peer organizations. There's EHSQ partners and vendors that we have in the building as well. There's regulatory bodies, auditing firms, consulting firms, analysts, field staff. There's so many people in our ecosystem that have so much intelligence on how to improve our performance. Intelex wants to help you leverage them. Because we believe to transform EHSQ, we really need to work together. So the EHSQ Alliance, our manifesto for the Alliance, is by leveraging our collective intelligence and collaborating across industries, we can learn from each other and understand risks in ways that are impossible to achieve alone. We believe in a collaborative ecosystem, striving to create a better world. We believe this will transform what's possible, and this is something that we're going to demonstrate today. But before I demonstrate it, I really want to push on the point that this is a progressive journey. This is something everybody can start today, no matter how conservative you are with security and legal controls. Because really, it's a stepping stone into collaboration. And step one of that, we believe, is just having conversations. The second step is what we call curated bulletins. So let's start formalizing these conversations. If there's an incident that occurred at a location in San Antonio related to forklift driving, maybe the EHSQ leader wants to publish the learnings from that and curate that across the industry so people can learn from it. But then we can get a lot more advanced. We can start benchmarking and indexing each other so you can understand how you perform against your industry, against your peers, against your geography. And then finally, the thing that we're most excited about, but this is the most progressive end to this journey, is getting into process and data collaboration. This is sort of the tip of the pyramid. And we're going to progressively work our way there. But the ability to share anonymous data, like risk registers, root cause analysis, major incidents and learnings, compliance action items, compliance costs, what's the average cost of this fine that I would get out of compliance, supplier performance, material safety data, lots of areas where we can collaborate as an industry to improve all of our performance. But let's ease into this together. So I just want to put this up front before I've shown any software, but I want to highlight this up front, that you as an organization, as a leader within our system, have control of how much you want to collaborate. And so first and foremost, you can decide how much do I want to share. And you can say, I don't want to share anything. Or maybe you say, well, I want to start having conversations. This is not exposing any data. All I'm going to do is have conversations. Or maybe you want to say, hey, I want to have bulletins. I'm going to start incorporating bulletins into our use of the software. And then you can graduate onto benchmarking and best practices and so on. We really hope to step you into seeing the value of this level of collaboration so you really see the value and see how it's not potentially harmful to you. It's a huge potential gain. And along with that, we also want to ease into connecting together. And this, I think, is one of the most exciting things about this concept, is that you could start by just sharing within your own organization, which, believe it or not, one of the biggest pieces of feedback we get from our customers is how hard it's to collaborate internally. Regardless as if you're a 3-location facility in Michigan or you're a global organization in 100 companies with 400,000 employees, it's really hard to collaborate internally. And so a huge stepping stone for what we call the EHSQ Alliance is enabling that just within your organization. But then as you're seeing value and growing, then you can start collaborating across your industry and across the world. And so just like what you want to share, you'll also be able to identify who you want to share with, and starting with just sharing inside your own location, being able to collaborate and share with the employees that sit around you at your own location, but then moving on to sharing with your entire organization, going across continents, across locations, and sharing there. And then when you get comfortable, maybe starting to share with your suppliers, or starting to share with your industry and your customers and your industry, and eventually everyone. Again, this is a process that we expect to take multiple years to understand, for people to feel comfortable with the process of sharing for best practices. And we want to give you control for who you share with and what you share. So what is the EHSQ Alliance? It's a data pipeline that collects and anonymizes member data. It's prescriptive tools to leverage our collective intelligence and experience. It's data science tools that drive machine learning and artificial intelligence on that data. It enables communication between members and a community to connect people. So I'm going to demonstrate it and walk through this. And I'm going to start with something that's available today. We're announcing today the release of benchmarking and indexing in the Intelex system. For everybody who signs up for the Intelex Alliance, you'll get for free benchmarking and indexing capabilities in your Intelex system. And what this will allow you to do is understand how you perform against similar business units within your organization. And so benchmarking and index will work within your organization without sharing with anybody outside. But if you want to see how you compare with other organizations in your industry, you can open it up and share both inside and outside your organization. An example here is the safety index, and what we've done is we have a data science team that's put together something called the safety index. And they've observed mountains and mountains and mountains of data. They're all a bunch of scientists. And they've determined that there is a huge correlation between these 6 things and an organization's likelihood of having an incident. And those 6 things are audits, information distribution, safety meetings, safety investigations, training, safety recognition, action management, and hazards and observations. And what they've done is they've built this data into a formula, basically, that will give you an index on how you perform against yourself, how you perform against other locations within your organization, but then how you perform against other companies in your vertical and elsewhere. And really, this is pulling together the feedback from customers, from machine learning, research institutions, and subject matter experts. It all comes together on a dashboard like this. So you see on this dashboard, it's kind of hard to see, but this company is in the yellow for their safety index. They're a 6 out of 10. It's just a score out of 10. And that safety index, you can see they're measured. If we zoom in here, you can see they're doing really well on action management and audits, but they're not doing well in training. That's an opportunity to improve their safety index. But when you're coming in here, you'll be able to see, well, this is why we're potentially underperforming, because we're weak in training, we're weak in safety investigation, but we're actually doing pretty good in action management. And then so this benchmarking ability is available today, and you'll see in this example, the recordable rate is a 7 versus a target of 2.6 in the industry. So the industry is a 2.6, and this company's a 7. The recordable rate's a 7 versus a target of 5.85, and the number of locations above industry average is 2, when the rest of the average is 1. This is available now to all Alliance members, and I'll talk to you in a second about how to join the Alliance. And it's free to all Alliance members. You can install this right away and get using it after this conference. So this is just a peek of what's coming in fall of 2017 with the EHSQ Alliance on the new version of the Intelex platform. And really the value of this alliance is all in its members. And the good news is there's already a ton of members at that first level, the collaboration and connecting level. there's actually 10,560 total individual members that have already connected through our Intellex community, which started as the Intellex Exchange, that's grown into Intellex Community, and is now going to grow into the Intellex Alliance. So if you're not a member of Intellex Community now, then joining, you're immediately going to find lots of people who are collaborating already. There's actually 4,000 company members on this. And by the way, parts of the Alliance, just like the community, will be available to non-Intellex customers. We really want to bring together the industry. We're actually building APIs so that we can connect with other EHSQ vendors, and they can leverage our safety index and other tools as well. So it's really growing. The momentum growing a ton for the Alliance. We've had 2,500 signups just in the last 30 days. There's 20,000 pieces of shared content on the Alliance already, and there's 520 peer-to-peer learning, so documents or best practices and so on. So the Alliance is already really, really going, but our next step is really baking that in and pulling that into the full Intellex experience. And just can't reiterate and focus enough on the fact that you control who you share with and what you share. And you're going to start, when you join the Alliance, you'll probably start just having conversations at your location, but you have the ability to manage how much you want to share across the entire locations and different sharing circles, but then also what you want to share, conversations, bulletins, benchmarking, or best practices. We have an information sharing policy. We call it AWARD. It's an acronym for anonymity and transparency, wealth sharing, accountability, right of data access, and data protection and design. Our number one priority is your information security and the security of your system. And so this is something that is built right into this Alliance platform from day one. What I'm most excited about is that it starts today. The Alliance is starting today. The benchmarking tools are available. The safety index is available. It's only available to Intellex customers today. Eventually, these benchmarking index tools will be available for customers logging in from our website. The new Intellex Alliance interface will be available. Our learning and bulletins tool will be available. All the collaboration and community tools will be available. It'll be an automatic update from your V6 system, and the developer API will be released to our partners and to your developers so they can tie in with the Alliance and begin the collaboration. And then 2018, we're really going to be focused more and more on the data and process sharing, that top level of the pyramid, implementing it into more business processes, like enabling a global risk register or global root cause database. We're going to have a lot more artificial intelligence built into the system. It's really a key focus for us is machine learning and our data science team leveraging the data in there to bring you better insights. We're going to have more connectors to tie into things like Slack and Office 360, Google Apps, all sorts of different tools. We have more third-party apps available off of our App Store. We're going to release our Partner Network V2, all integrated into the Alliance version, our developer network, and a Marketplace V2, all coming down the pipe. So if you go to ehsq.com/alliance, there's a page there where you can sign up and join the Alliance. And as soon as you join up, we can start deploying the indexing and benchmarking tools to you, and you can start to collaborate with the EHSQ Alliance member companies. And really think it starts today. This is going to be a journey. We don't expect on day one tomorrow for everybody to be overwhelmed with the amount of data and knowledge they're pulling out of the system. But we believe this is the ultimate, this is inevitable, what has to happen in our field. Really to leverage our collective intelligence to transform our organizations. We believe that's critical, and we believe this is the first step of doing it in our industry and the first step of doing it within our organizational companies. We really think it's time to break down these silos, break down the silos in our EHSQ space, and we're really fortunate. Most everybody we speak to are very open and willing to share, and so this is a great industry and use case for sharing. And really, we think it's time to work together. Really thank everybody for being here. Really appreciate your attendance to the conference and your support as an Intellex customer. I'm around, obviously, the whole conference. Would love to meet everybody as much as possible. Thank you so much, and have a great day.